Hello, everyone, and welcome to Terry Fox Field here in Burnaby, British Columbia for a neutral site non-conference game between the Fort Lewis Skyhawks and the Montana State Billings Yellowjackets. Both of these teams played here on Thursday and lost in their respective games. Montana State fell 2-1 to Colorado Mesa. They took the lead in the 8th minute through Marc-Paul Reynaud, who is on the bench to start today's game, but they conceded twice in quick succession early in the second half. On the side of the Skyhawks, they lost to the host of this quad team non-conference set, SFU, 1-0. They did outshoot the Red Leafs 16-11. They had lots of pressure on the SFU goal in the second half, but were unable to find the breakthrough, gave up the only goal in the 16th minute in that game. Both of these two teams have made a few changes to their starting lineups, which makes sense as it's a short turnaround from Thursday night after both of them traveled from their respective states up here to British Columbia, Canada. The Yellowjackets are 3-2 so far this season, although they have lost 2 in a row. On the side of the Skyhawks, they are 2-2. And that loss on Thursday snapped what had been a brief 2-game winning streak. National anthems are now playing. We're a very short ways away from getting underway here this afternoon. The Yellowjackets, of course, no strangers to this field as they are part of the Great Northwest Athletic Conference along with SFU. They will be back here in Burnaby on October 21st to take on the Red Leafs. But on this weekend trip, they're only playing 2 of their fellow American schools, both from Colorado. We're also nearing the end of the non-conference slate of games. In fact, for MSUB, this is their final non-conference game. They have next weekend off, and then they will begin conference play at home against Western Oregon University on September 30th. Fort Lewis, they do have a couple more non-conference games, although they are against teams in the same conference. They play Adams State University at home next Friday, which is a fellow Rocky Mountain Athletic Conference team, but it won't count for the conference standings. Players shaking hands out there on the field. And both of these teams now looking to make their Canadian trek at least a partially successful one. Won't want to fly all the way back home with 2 losses coming out of this week, especially as both teams are looking to improve on how they finished last year. Fort Lewis were just 9th in the RMAC, which was the program's lowest finish in over a decade, and they're worse under their current head coach David Oberholzer. MSUB last year was their first season with new head coach Aaron Champenoy, who coincidentally spent a year as an assistant athletic director at Fort Lewis College. Champenoy led the Yellowjackets to a 5th place finish in the GNAC with a 5-9-3 overall record, 3-6-3 in conference play. It was an improvement over the previous season where they finished last in the conference, and they're looking to climb to higher heights this season. You now see Fort Lewis on the screen. They are wearing the, I would say blue and gold, but it's mostly blue with just a hint of gold. On the other side, the Yellowjackets fittingly wearing yellow with the white shorts and socks. Will be the big rookie forward, Anton Hjalmarsson, to get us underway whenever the referee gives the signal. Fort Lewis looks like they're lining up in a 4-3-3 formation. Do have a few attackers out there on the field looking to really go for it today after they were shut out by SFU on Thursday. You can see the Yellowjackets pushing high there, but Fort Lewis has broken the press, and they will hold up. As midfielder Quinn Bosanko, he'll be a key figure at the base of that trio in the Fort Lewis midfield. There's a bit of a scrap there in the middle of the park, and it's stolen by the Yellowjackets. Looking to switch the play. It's hit out wide. Unable to control it there, however, was, I believe that was Kolja Thompson. Or actually, rather, that was Ryoshiro Morita, the left winger, who came off the bench on Thursday. And that is a bad giveaway by the Skyhawks. Chance to break here for the Yellowjackets, but they're unable to find that final ball. Bosanko will try and slow things down once again. Switched out wide. Caden Schuft, fullback. Plays it back. And it's cleared downfield up to Hjalmarsson. Unable to flick it on. You can see there Thomas Duena is really pushing high, almost making it 4 up front for the Skyhawks on that occasion. It will be a Fort Lewis throw down on the far side. The Yellowjackets again putting the pressure on, nearly turning it over, but Fort Lewis just able to keep control. It's a bit of a battle over there on the far side. The Skyhawks trying to play their way out of it. They turn it over, and that will be a foul and a free kick in a dangerous area. Fort Lewis really running into trouble. That was Ryan Hanley, one of the new additions to the starting lineup today, causing some problems and drawing the foul. So we'll see if the Yellowjackets can put a good ball into the box here. There are 6 men to aim for in the middle, crossed in and cleared away. That's Morita now picking it up. Rather, that's Hanley. He crosses it in, and that will nearly go out for a corner, but it's kept in. To the top of the box, and the shot flies over. Harmless in the end. But MSUB has certainly started on the front foot here today. Fort Lewis hardly able to get out of their own half so far. Still playing it short and trying to play it out on the turf. Now they hit it longer. Hjalmarsson trying to flick it on. Still fighting for it, and now's the chance to break for Fort Lewis, and that is a big challenge and a foul. It looks like the Skyhawks are going to now play it short rather than hitting it far into the box. Good hold-up play there at the edge of the 18. Trying the switch of play out wide to Matt Baldridge, but he was unable to get on the end of it. Schuft coming forward. The fullback wins the ball. Now Hjalmarsson trying to cross, unable to do so. Baldridge back to Hjalmarsson. Trying to roulette. Ref rules a play on. Not too much complaining there from Hjalmarsson. He gets up, gets back underway. Good read there by Adnan Eliquad, but nearly turned it over. And clearing it downfield is the goalkeeper, Lucas Martin. Yellowjackets again control. Played out wide right. Cross comes in. That's cleared away by Schuff. Still not totally out of danger. Good play there by Baldridge, I believe, to get it downfield. Now back to Martin once again. The freshman won't pick up the ball. He'll instead clear it out of play. Didn't want to risk a back pass call there. So it's Josh Nalatambi with the throw. One of the rookies on this MSUB team. Switch of play out wide and slipping there, but able to recover was Thomas Kirkham, the left back. Just does enough to get it out for a Yellowjackets throw. And good play there by Bosenko in the middle. However, goes through the legs of Kirkham. The cross deflects out of play for a corner kick. So the Skyhawks again under pressure here. It is Ryan Hanley going over to take the corner. Looking to find one of his teammates. Unable to do so, however, it will be controlled here on the outside. That is Roddy Lewis. Trying to switch, a bit of a dangerous one. Almost sprung a Fort Lewis counterattack. In fact, it still might, but unable to stop that ball over the top there was Jack Jarrett. Fort Lewis will control. Again, the Skyhawks trying to, bit of a flick and chase game through the head of Hjalmarsson. Battle down there in the corner will be a MSUB throw. As a captain, Callum Bryan battling there and winning another throw in further down the sideline for his team. Right up against Michael Wisman there in the middle. Ball clear downfield. Schuft goes up for it. Hard collision there. He remains down on the field. Does Hanley. Looks like he's all right, though. In fact, the referee will, instead of calling a foul, just play it as a drop ball after briefly stopping play. Intricate play down the sideline there, or at least attempted intricate play, but Yellowjacks will have a chance to reload. Now it's Fort Lewis putting some pressure on, and that is a foul called by Hjalmarsson. Colter Thomas really baited him into that one. Was just waiting for the contact and then fell down as soon as he got it and then nearly rifles it off the face of one of the Skyhawks forwards. Fort Lewis trying to assert themselves a little bit more here. That's Kirkham bombing down the left flank. He's got a chance to try and hit it into the middle, but it runs just a little bit long on him. Seen out by Jarrett. Lung-busting run by the Fort Lewis fullback, but he was unable to try and find one of his teammates. That's Gabriel Legendre. Not said his name much so far, but second team all-conference last season. Scored 3 goals in 3 games to begin the year before he was shut out along with the rest of his team on Thursday against SFU. About 10 minutes into this one, the Skyhawks unable to get a real chance at goal. Yellowjackets have been busier on the offensive end, but also have yet to create a clear-cut opportunity. And again, some nervy play there by Fort Lewis, turning it over in their own half. There's been quite a few of those so far. Marita. Now to Netalambi. This time it's Fort Lewis turning it over. Hjalmarsson lays it off. Try to play it through, and he's just unable to get on the end of that one. That was Duenas with the pass. But calmly controlled and cleared out by Jeremy Campagnolo in goal for MSUB. Basenko slips, trying to get Marita as he dribbles past Duenas as well. Good play there by the forward. Now coming down the right side are the Yellowjackets. Good play there by Kirkham. Sealing it back, however, will be a Fort Lewis throw-in. Now it's back into the hands of the Yellowjackets. It's Ty Volin trying to get on the ball. Someone else that we've not seen much of so far, and he's such a big goal-scoring threat for this MSUB side. He's got 4 goals and an assist in 5 games so far this season. Really been a breakout campaign for him so far. And that's a long shot and a goal! What a finish! However, there is a man down on the field. Volland kept going. Had a great goal for his 5th of the season, but celebrations are marred by his teammate who remains down and in some very obvious discomfort. That's Ryan Hanley who is on the floor. He's being attended to. But for Ty Volin, I just mentioned how this has been a breakout season for him. Now 5 goals and an assist in 6 games. He had no goals and just 1 assist in his first 7 games in his Yellowjackets career over the last couple of seasons, but is now leading the line for MSUB this year. Clearly, the trust that Coach Aaron Champenoy has been showing him has paid off. Great outside the box finish. Goalie was rooted to the spot on that one. You're still just 12 minutes into this game. Now a stoppage of play as Ryan Hanley is being treated down on the pitch. Fort Lewis now needing to respond after falling behind once again. This is about the same time that they gave up a goal, the only goal of the match against SFU on Thursday, both within the first 20 minutes of the game. So a familiar situation for the Skyhawks as the Yellowjackets made their early pressure count. And now Hanley is being helped off the field. It's looking like it's unlikely that he'll be able to continue in this one. is a substitution getting ready on the far side. So it is Amaro Vargas getting ready to come in for him. And he will come out to the left wing, pushing Marita more centrally. So Fort Lewis now looking to respond. Ball over the top to Baldridge. Too long for him to try and run onto. So now it's a bit of a personnel switch for the Yellowjackets as Marita has dropped into the midfield trio alongside of Lewis and Bryan. With Vargas now on the left wing, unable to get on that one. Volland battling along with Vargas, but Fort Lewis comes away with it just barely there. A bit of a desperation clearance by Eliquad. And now a pile of bodies on this near sideline, and a foul is called as Thomas hit the deck. Hjalmarsson thought he might have had a break there to try and run in on goal, but it was called back. So we'll see if the Yellowjackets continue putting the pressure on. Up 1-0. Vargas to Jarrett. Bit of an awkward one there, but he gets it to the far side. Turnover there. Lewis battling. Gets it free. And then a giveaway right in the middle of the field to Basenko. Gets it to Baldridge. One-touch pass, trying to get it through Hjalmarsson. Good cutout there by Thomas. And the Yellowjackets are able to clear. Vargas holding it up well. Volland wanted it over the top a little bit earlier, ends up getting it. Into Vargas. As MSUB pushes forward. Nice feed inside. Long range attempt there. Unable to get it through. And Basenko has his pocket pick there by Bryan. MSUB nearly getting another scoring chance. They still have the ball. Lewis leaves it. Jarrett has it. He's tackled. Play back. Volland out wide to Ntelembi. Trying to play it back to his striker, unable to do so, and Vargas now has it. Played down the sideline. Ntelembi unable to get on the end of it. Flicked on there by Baldridge, but not to any teammate. Skyhawks still looking for their first shot of the game. Baldridge, intriguing ball there over the top to Legendre, just didn't have the legs on it. Now Kirkham plays it down the sideline. Duenes unable to get by Jarrett. Legendre turns his man. Gets it to Hjalmarsson in the box. He has some space, tries to cut it back. Baldridge blocked. Legendre hits it wide. The first proper chance of the game for the Skyhawks. Legendre might have snatched at that one a little bit. pulling it outside of the near post. The first warning shot for MSUB. Now trying to reassert themselves somewhat. That's Camden Beck on the right wing, playing it, or at least attempting to play it to Callum Bryan. Unable to do so. All the way back to Campagnolo. Tries to play it down to his fullback, cut out there by Schuft. But Vargas has it, at least for the moment. Taken back now by the Skyhawks. Masenko plays it back. Bit of tight quarters there for the Skyhawks defense, but they play it out of trouble. Now Schuft, looking for a man, floats it over to Hjalmarsson. Legendre is there trying to get to it, but Bryan cuts it out. Then a foul there committed by Beck, giving a free kick to the Skyhawks. Again, played short by Fort Lewis. Second time they've done that, having a free kick in a similar position, and instead of bringing up the defenders, trying to knock it in the box, opting to keep possession and playing it short. Legendre, nice feed. Hjalmarsson crosses it in, trying to find Duenas, unable to. Fort Lewis keeps possession. Not often they've had sustained minutes of possession like they've had currently. Ball played over the top. Basenko coming all the way from midfield, making that run down the middle, but cut out. Play on, says the referee, as the Skyhawks steal the ball back. Legendre popping up now on the right side. Baldridge crossed into the middle. Hjalmarsson unable to get on the end of it. He will keep it in play. Feeds it to Kirkham. And that is a good tackle there, I believe, by Bryan. So MSUB will look to slow things down, take the sting out of it a little, as Fort Lewis was starting to put some pressure on. Valden plays it all the way back. Guillermo Gonzalez, one of the few changes to the starting lineup for MSUB, gives it away. But no harm, as it's right back into the feet of the Yellowjackets. Beck controls it. Tries to play it into Jarrett for him to run onto, and we just saw someone take a spill on the far sideline. Looks like both the staff member and the advertising boards are okay. That is a foul there by the Yellowjackets. Some nice passing through the right side. One-touch feed there by Duenas to Wisman, pushing up from midfield, unable to get it back to Duenas. Legendre taking it down near the right corner flag. Cuts it back. Nice play by the junior forward. Duenas takes it himself and skies it. Left-footed attempt, could not get over the ball. Nearly halfway through this first half of play. Now a couple substitutions for the Skyhawks. MSUB having to clear their lines. Schuft with the throw in for Fort Lewis. Legendre has it taken away. And that is a last-ditch tackle by Josh Nelatambi. And my apologies for getting one of the names wrong here. I've been calling Benjamin Banks on the Yellowjacket side, Amaro Vargas, both the number 22. I just got the teams mixed up. That was the Fort Lewis 22, Amaro Vargas, who committed the foul there on Nelatambi. He is now actually into the game, but it's been Banks on the left side for the Yellowjackets. Thomas Duenas now. I'm very sure that I have his name right at least. He plays it out wide. Kirkham now inside. Back to the other Fort Lewis substitution there. That's Loic Jean-Baptiste, the senior. This is his first game that he's not started so far this season. On the ball there in that number 6 role. He replaced Wisman in the middle of the park. One-touch feed over the top. Duenas cutting into the middle. No one was really there for him. Hjalmarsson now playing on the left wing. Finds a teammate, gets it back, has a chance to cut it back on his left instead, goes to his right. Jean-Baptiste nearly given away, and the shot, Legendre was always leaning backwards as he took it. Campagnolo did not look too bothered in goal for the Yellowjackets. And there is now a player down on the field. Might be Hjalmarsson for Fort Lewis.
Substitution made by Montana State University of Billings in the 25th minute in the game. Number 20, Paul Reinauer. Out of the game, number 19, Camden Beck.
While this stoppage has gone on, the goal scorer for MSUB in their loss on Thursday, Marc-Paul Reynaud, has checked in for Beck. Reynaud has scored in each of their last 2 games, playing on the right wing. We're back underway, and back onto the pitch is Hjalmarsson. Rather, that was actually Duenas who is down hurt for the moment, pushed up now into the what looks like a number 10 role. Vargas trying to cut out that pass, but it's taken away by Morita. He plays it over the top, looking for Brian, the captain making the run, unable to find him. Game is slowed down a little once again, trying to inject a little life into it now. Legendre Plays it out wide to Vargas. Will he be able to get on the end of it? No. Just a bit too much on the pass there. It's a good idea by Legendra. Now leading the line for this Fort Lewis team down the middle. Him and Hjalmarsson swapping places up front. Trying to put some pressure here on Kolja Thomas. And he picks his pocket. Lays it off. Duenas getting it to Jean-Baptiste. He pokes it through and he just misses the post. Loic Jean-Baptiste coming up from midfield. He has 18 goals in his career. A long career for the Skyhawks, the redshirt senior from Martinique. Just unable to direct it on the inside of the post. Marita now playing it downfield. Renault caught a little bit flat-footed. He was turned around by the pass. Unable to control it. So Jacob Larson now at the back to Jean-Baptiste, dropping in behind, or rather in between the defenders to try and break the lines, up to Legendra, who also is dropping quite deep now. Fort Lewis starting to get the better of the chances now after it was all Yellowjackets early on in the half. Duenas to Vargas. Vasenko playing it down the middle. Good chest there by Legendra. Calling for it. Vargas didn't get it. Instead, Duenas gets it now. Hjalmarsson! Big save by Campagnolo. Anton Hjalmarsson in all alone. Right-footed attempt, but a big stop. Played down the sideline. Good ball to Vargas. Cuts it back. Trying to find Duenas. Flicks it up to himself. Heads it down. Legendra unable to get the ball. Crashing to the floor is Brian. Now Duenas again battling right on the 6-yard box. But MSUB is a chance to break through Banks. Holds it up. Fort Lewis putting the pressure on, and that is a foul called on Jean-Baptiste. He's not happy with the call. Whistled for pushing Brian in the back. Headed out of play for a throw-in for MSUB. Stolen there by Jean-Baptiste. He's looking to break. Gets it to Legendra. However, the counterattack potential fizzles out there. Jean-Baptiste surveys. Plays it inside Legendra. Now, Duenas. Great ball out to Hjalmarsson. However, he's unable to control as well as he would like. Renault! Stonewalled by Jean-Baptiste. Ref says play on. Hjalmarsson now trying to make amends. Feed it through to Legendra. Cut out. Now Renault again taken down, and this time it is a foul. Jean-Baptiste is getting a talking to from the official now. A couple of fouls in quick succession by him. Played forward, cut out. Marita there with the interception. Gonzalez plays it downfield. Good control there by Lewis. However, its ball is given right back to the Skyhawks. Elmerson in a battle with Jarrett on the far side. Won by the Yellowjackets. Reynaud plays it to Volland. Cutting it back to the middle. Controlled by Bosenko. Now Jean-Baptiste skips past a challenge. Bosenko trying to find someone to pass to. Instead just goes back to Larson. Dangerous play there in the middle of the park. Duenas survives, tries to play it through to Vargas. Can't find him. Now Schuft knocks it out off of Banks. Banks now plays it back to Thomas, who clears. Volland has it, gives it away. Bosenko plays it out wide to Hjalmarsson, but Jarrett is there to cut it out. Kirkham pushes forward, gets it to Hjalmarsson, trying to feed Duenas, but he's unable to. And the ref, I believe, will pull it back for a free kick for the Skyhawks. They tried to play it short once again, but the ref tells them that Jean-Baptiste was much too far away from where the spot was. And that is a corner. Attempted pass there by, I believe, Duenas was blocked, and now Jean-Baptiste is going over to take the corner kick. Less than 12 minutes to play in the first half. Fort Lewis trying to equalize, trying to find their first goal of the weekend here. Crossed into the box. Headed on goal. Saved. That was Jacob Larson with the header. Nearly his first goal for Fort Lewis. A transfer from Yavapai Community College. Another substitution for the Skyhawks.
Substitution by Fort Lewis College.
In the
number 34.
Shot.
In the game number 16, Emmett Lehman.
That was Emmett Lehman, the substitute for Fort Lewis, getting involved right away. Lehman started on Thursday. He has 2 goals on the season so far. Now Lewis trying to control it in the middle of the park. Big step up, but unable to control there was Eliquad. Now Natellenby to Banks. Trying to play back to Volland. Cut out. And shepherding it out of play is Schuft. Fort Lewis trying to get the ball moving. 10 minutes to go if they're to find an equalizer before the halftime whistle. Reynaud tackled. Now Legendre has Duenas calling for it in the middle. He gets it. Sprays it out wide to Vargas. Vargas one-on-one. Likes to pass out of the challenge. Bosenko give and go. And a foul is called. Duenas crashing to the turf. Looks like this time the Skyhawks will take their time to try and put a ball into the box. Their first set piece led to a headed chance for Jacob Larson. But before we get the free kick going here, Thomas Duenas might need some extra attention. We've had a few players going down hurt so far in this half. Of course, Ryan Hanley on the side of the Yellowjackets, who had to be substituted out. It's now the second time that Duenas has been struggling a little after a challenge. Trying to walk it off now. It will be Vargas taking the free kick. Puts it in. However, not too dangerous. Cleared by the Yellowjackets. Now Banks had Volland making the run down the left. Elects it to keep going himself. Now we'll switch play to Jarrett. Volland still calling for it on the left wing. Reynaud in a battle. He's unable to keep control. A referee having some words there and letting Thomas Duenas get to the sideline.
Substitution made by Fort Lewis College, who went in number 30, stepped in the game number 13. David Citron out of the game number 11.
That is David Citron now into the game for Fort Lewis. He has 2 assists on the season, the sophomore midfielder. Jean-Baptiste tries to play it over the top, cut out there by Thomas. Nice play by the Skyhawks, setting up Legendre. He whiffs on it. Had a one-timer set up on his left foot and just got over the ball. Another chance there, at least a half chance for the Skyhawks. Starting to mount a little bit without being able to find the back of the net as of yet. Battle there between Jarrett and Lehman on the far sideline. Ends up going the way of the Yellowjackets with a foul called on Lehman. Jean-Baptiste looking to control. Callum Bryan pressuring him, and he wins the ball. His pass attempt is blocked. Marita unable to get on the end of it, and it's cleared away by Larson. Headed back forward. Popped up into the air a few times in a row. Jean-Baptiste, nice control. Gets it to Lehman. Driving to the end line, crossing it back in, and unable to get on the end of it there was Citron, and a corner is called. The big men from the back come forward once again. Larson obviously a target after the first corner kick. Eliquad, very imposing figure, the big number 4. Hung towards the back. Larson again is on the end of it. Popped into the air, and a foul is called. You can't hit the goalie in midair like that, as Campagnolo went crashing to the floor. He's limping a little bit. So MSUB trying to see out this first half, get to the interval with a lead. Reynaud running onto that one, knocked away by Larson, kept in by Kirkham. However, he then gives it away. Marita now headed forward by Bryan. Bit of pinball there on the far side. It ends up with a throw-in as now the substitute, Banks, will be replaced. That is a substitution by the Yellowjackets that sees Jackson Hanley, the rookie forward, come in on the left wing. He's the younger brother of Ryan Hanley, who started the game for MSUB. Lehman, again battling with Jarrett over on that far side, and it's cleared out of play for a Fort Lewis throw-in. However, the referee is now going over to talk with his linesman. I'm not sure exactly what for. But play has been whistled dead. And a yellow card has been shown to Jacob Larson, I believe. Must have said something to warrant the booking, because he certainly didn't commit a foul. So 4 minutes to play here in the first half. Referee giving a stern talking to Larson. We're back underway. And again, Reynaud, he's had a bit of a tough first half. He's been knocked to the turf on a number of occasions, the substitute. Limping a little bit as he gets back to his feet. Jean-Baptiste, one-touch pass. Citron trying to play it over the top to Lehman, but cut out there by Bryan. Good pressure there by Amaro Vargas, trying to turn over the Yellowjackets in their own half. Legendre knocks it out of play for a throw-in. Thrown down the sideline to Bryan, but Bosenko is there to cut it out. Easy control now for Larson into Jean-Baptiste. Reynaud unable to get there ahead of Lehman. And then he commits the foul. He's not happy. It did look like a clear foul from up here, but Reynaud, frustrated with some of the abuse that he's endured over on that far side at the hands of the Skyhawks, that has not been called. Chance now to whip a dangerous ball into the box. And a yellow card now has been shown. So that's now multiple yellow cards shown for dissent here in the last few minutes. Crossed into the box, gets all the way through to the 6, but it's cleared away. And now a throw in. Citron, who took the free kick, gets it in quickly. Lehman has a couple of defenders around him near the corner flag, cleared away. Volland trying to get on the end of it, nearly gets himself a breakaway, plays it over the top to Marita, but he's offside. nearly a break right at the end of the first half for the Yellowjackets. Instead, Fort Lewis has it once again. Will they be able to create one more opportunity here in the first 45? Basenko turns it over. Reynaud unable to keep it in play. Will be pulled back. And there's again some dissent between the head official and his linesman. Some words exchanged between MSUB captain Callum Bryan and the ref currently. Goes off of Reynaud. Just 1 minute to play here in the first half. Things have become a little bit bogged down here in the last few minutes. Players not happy with the official. Plenty of physical play. Jean-Baptiste has it taken off his foot by Bryan, who's now pressuring Larson in the corner. Larson gets it away with the help of Saitron. Nice flick on there by Legendre. It's out wide to Vargas. Turn by Saitron. Trying to find his teammate there in the middle, unable to do so. Potential chance to break for the Yellowjackets in the final 10 seconds of the half. Reynaud pressured, trying to cut it back. And that is the end of the first half with the ball drilled off of Reynaud by Jean-Baptiste. I assume it wasn't intentional, but he did catch him. Perhaps a fitting way for the half to end some rough and tumble play. It is 1-0 for Montana State Billings. The lone goal scored by their number 9, Ty Volland. And Fort Lewis, for the second straight game, down 1-0 at the half. They will try and respond in the second. And we will be back with the second half of play in around 15 minutes or so. Just about set to get back underway here at Terry Fox Field in Burnaby, British Columbia. Non-conference matchup between the Montana State Billings Yellowjackets and the Fort Lewis Skyhawks. Yellowjackets are up 1-0. They have just one change from the 11 that started the first half, with Benjamin Banks out there replacing the injured Ryan Hanley. Banks battling now for the ball. And he is fouled. So free kick here for the Yellowjackets very early on in the second half. Trying to get out to a 2-goal lead. Control there at the top of the box by Lewis. Not exactly as he would have liked. Legendre battling Jarrett, trying to knot it on to Emmett Lehman. Unable to get it to him. That is a foul and a yellow card shown to the Yellowjackets. That's Ty Volland getting booked, the goal scorer. That's a throw in. It's in the hands of Kieran Feeney out there now at right back, replacing Caden Schuft. Throw in once again for Fort Lewis. Thrown into Legendre, and he is fouled. So it's now the Skyhawks' turn to have the chance to put a ball into the box. Thomas Duenas going over. Looks like he wants to take this free kick. Duenas, however, is now backed away from it. It will be Feeney taking the kick. Whips it into the box. And now Volland trying to get on the end of it. Knock back inside. Bryan. It's taken back by Fort Lewis. Now Lehman surveys his options, gets it to Kirkham. Quinn Basanko, who has played all but a few minutes of the season so far for Fort Lewis, a stalwart in the middle of the park. One touch pass out wide, almost too hot to handle there. And a bit of an awkward play here by the Skyhawks, and falling down as he cleared it was the defender. It was actually Caden Schuft, who is, he's not been replaced, he's just been moved into the center back position, replacing Adnan Eliquad. So it's now Schuft and Larson in the middle at the back. Kirkham and Feeney as the fullbacks. And Jean-Baptiste Basanko and Duenas in the middle of the park. Thrown up towards Legendre. Unable to get on the end of that one. And they throw in now to MSUB. Duenas trying to flick it onto Legendre, unable to get it to him. Ball bouncing around in the middle of the park. Basenko controls it. Gets it to Duenas. Has a couple of defenders around him. Good touch by Hjalmarsson. Duenas with the outside of the boot. What a ball! Emmett Lehman around the goalie. Cleared off the line. Still in play and fired over the net by Duenas. What a glorious opportunity for the Skyhawks. And what a ball it was by Duenas initially to get it to Lehman. Did all the work to get around the goalie and just couldn't finish. Great goal line stand to preserve the lead by the Yellowjackets. Trying to build on that momentum now are the Skyhawks. Played forward. Lehman flicks it behind his head. He's got Jarrett draped all over him. Gets around Jarrett. Crosses it in. Cleared away. Now Beck has it taken off him by Kirkham. Plays it on the ground. Played over the top. Kirkham with the left foot, and that is blocked. Will be a corner kick. Going over to take it is Jean-Baptiste. Here's Duenas short. Plays it to him. Duenas back to Jean-Baptiste. Plays it on the ground. Bit of a misplay there by Legendre. Looks like he was trying to play it back to his midfielder. Instead, it's played down the field. Cut out there by Feeney. And a foul is called on the Yellowjackets. Basenko plays it quickly. Jean-Baptiste turns. Plays it out to Larson. Now Lehman has a couple of defenders right on him. Spins through both of them. What a play by Emmett Lehman. Cuts to his right foot, and it's saved. Campagnolo stops what would have been a highlight reel goal for Emmett Lehman. As the winger has been very lively to start this second half. Didn't start the match, but he's now had a featured role. Skyhawks looking to keep the pressure on. Jean-Baptiste over the top. Trying to find Hjalmarsson. Can't get it to him, but Jean-Baptiste gets the ball right back. Turns, lays it off to Duenas. Legendre. Duenas wanted it back. He couldn't get it to him. Now Volland. Crunching challenge there by Schuff, stepping right up into him. And Banks is unable to keep it in play. Good play there by Lewis to steal the ball back for the Yellowjackets. Played now down the sideline. Volland on the left. Has Feeney draped all over him. And he runs the ball out of play. Knotted on by Duenas. Ball up in the air. Cleared. Basenko has it. Didn't look like he was trying to do that. Ended up heading it right to Volland. Now Beck. He cuts it inside. Takes it with the left. Blocked by Larson. Ball down in the corner. Kirkham gets it clear. He's now trying to run onto it, but it's cut out by Gonzalez. Feeney now plays it into the feet of Duenas, who gives the ball away. Putting the pressure on now is Legendre. And good play there by Beck, at least initially, to keep the ball, but Kirkham there step for step. Basenko has a bit of time in the middle of the park. Duenas. Jean-Baptiste. He pushes forward, plays it out wide to Lehman. One-on-one up against Jarrett. Slows it down. Takes him on. Crosses and cleared away. Volland battling. Keeps control. Lays it out for Beck. Gets around Kirkham, but not Jean-Baptiste. Hjalmarsson calling for it. Might have wanted that in the air and not on the ground. Jean-Baptiste has it once again. Plays it to Duenas. Rather, that's Basenko. Duenas trying to find Feeney, who is creeping up the right sideline, but that was way too far out in front of him. Played down the sideline. Easily cut out by Kirkham. Nice turn around Beck. Now Jean-Baptiste lofts it high in the air. Hjalmarsson comes down with it. Good turn by him, and he's fouled. Hard foul there by Natellenby. So we'll see whether we see a shot at goal here from this free kick. It's in a very dangerous spot. It is Thomas Duenas standing over it. Campagnolo directing his wall. Nearly the entire Skyhawks team lining up around the edge of the penalty area. Duenas fires, saved by Campagnolo. He has been busy so far tonight. And after he made a season-high 7 saves against Colorado Mesa on Thursday night. A very strong weekend of performances for the Danish goalkeeper. Now coming the other way, Banks has it. Taken away. Larson boots it back downfield. Few players battling for it. Duenas tries to head it out wide to Hjalmarsson. It's out of play for a throw-in. Duenas shoves his man to the ground. No foul called. Lehman has some space on the left. 2 defenders on him. Tries to split them once again. Unable to do so. Kirkham into the middle. Cleared by Bryan. And now Volland all on his own up front, but he does win the throw-in. Wanting the rest of his team to come forward now. MSUB slows it down a little. Beck has it taken away. Kirkham and Lehman, the two of them get a little tangled up there on the near side, but the Skyhawks do win the throw. Larson to Kirkham. Thought about trying to play a long ball instead. Keeps it on the deck. This time it is Schuft who does dump it long down the field, headed right back. Duenas surveys, tries to get it out to Lehman, but easy clear there for Jarrett. Beck turns. He's got Kirkham all over him, and a good tackle there by Thomas Kirkham. Jean-Baptiste. He had Hjalmarsson, or rather that was Duenas, calling for it on the right side. Didn't get it to him. Kirkham, he is able to keep that in play. The pass from Basenko, and then he wins the corner. Or actually, the linesman on the near side rules that the ball did go out of play. So it will be a throw-in for the Yellowjackets deep in their own end. So Fort Lewis will look to keep the pressure on, try and turn them over. So we now have a substitution. The goal scorer, Ty Volland, will get a rest. That is Sam Kemmer, backup striker coming in. He's now immediately gets on the ball, but unable to keep control. Jarrett battling with Lehman. This near sideline has seen a lot of battles. Lehman and Jarrett on one end, Kirkham and Beck on the other. Now Legendre trying to hold up the ball. Does a very good job of it. Squirts free and fires from a long way out. He was at least 25 yards from goal when he shot that one. Didn't trouble Campagnolo in the end. Thomas boots it downfield. Kemmer, again, unable to keep control. Duenas spins away from pressure, gets it inside to Kirkham. He plays it back. Larson gets it to Legendre. And he gives it away to Bryan. Now the Yellowjackets trying to keep control of the ball for a little bit. Thomas pressured. Goes all the way back to Campagnolo. And now Lehman sprinting towards Gonzalez, forcing him to spray it out wide left. And then a foul is committed by Hjalmarsson. So a reprieve for the Yellowjackets as the clock ticks along. A little over 25 minutes to play here in the second half. MSUB looking for what would be their fourth win of the season. They had just 2 non-conference wins last year. They would end their non-conference slate 4-2 if they were to close this one out. slipping as he tried to control the ball there was Legendre. He's now trying to run onto it, but that ball was hit far too hard by Feeney. Throw in immediately won by Fort Lewis. Jean-Baptiste powering forward, trying to feed it inside. Unable to control there was Duenes. Now good play by the Yellowjackets, bursting down the left. Banks and Beck are both in the middle. Bryan has it on the outside of the box. Now to Beck. Try to give and go there with Bryan, but the captain hit it just a little bit too hard. Now another substitution for the Yellowjackets. Beck will be replaced over on the right. That is Jackson Hanley coming back into the game. He played briefly in the first half.
University of Billings came in at number 66 into game number 15. Jackson Hanley out number 19. Camden Beck.
Tough control here for the Skyhawks. Perhaps just barely able to get away with it. Bosanko is battling Bryan. Callum Bryan trying to weave his way past a couple of defenders, and he wins a corner in the end. Good work there. He will go over to take it. Lucas Martin in goal for Fort Lewis has definitely been the less busy of the two keepers so far tonight. Now faces a set piece. Referee going over to have a word. Bit of pushing and shoving there along the goal line. It's Jackson Hanley making a nuisance of himself right in front of Lucas Martin. Crossed in, and that was very close to being on target by Bryan, but Martin catches it, puts Kirkham into trouble, but the defender is able to get away with it. Now Bosanko looking for options, gets it to Duenes. Goes left. Good job by the Yellowjackets funneling him into traffic. Laid forward and cleared by Gonzalez. Feeney try to give and go with Bosanko, but he didn't get the ball back. Bosanko instead keeps hold of it and knocks it to Legendre. Nice turn by him. Gets it right back. Now Jean-Baptiste trying to deal with pressure from Bryan. Does it beautifully. Bursting through the middle to Lehman. He cuts back to his right. And doing just enough to disrupt him there was Hanley. Kirkham. That's taken away. Kemmer battling for it against Kirkham. Referee says play on. Kirkham driving forward. Legendre lays it off for Jean-Baptiste. Trying to play it in behind, I believe, to Hjalmarsson. And it now will be pulled back for a free kick for Fort Lewis. Kirkham lofts it over the middle. Hjalmarsson out wide, plays it back to Feeney. Jean-Baptiste, who's been pulling the strings in the midfield for Fort Lewis, finds Lehman wide open to the back post. Couldn't direct his header where he wanted it, and he was offside anyway. So, in the end, doesn't really matter.
So that's actually not a goal kick. It's a free kick offside. Blue is offside. Free kick for yellow.
Shoved. Heads it back down the middle. Duenas comes crashing in, unable to control it. Lewis lofts it over the top. Good cutout there by Larson. Otherwise, Hanley was in on goal. Now Lehman keeps hold of it, lays it off for Basenko. Nice feed down the sideline. Hjalmarsson has it cut out by Kolja Thomas. Big defensive play there, but it is a corner for Fort Lewis. Less than 20 minutes to play. Now a substitution for the Skyhawks off their own corner kick. It's looking like the referee is telling them to hold their substitution for the moment. So instead it's crossed in low. The shot goes through all the way to the back post, and it's a goal! The Skyhawks have tied it up. The ball off the worked corner kick play rolled all the way through. That was Hjalmarsson on the back post. No one tracked his run. And now the goal scorer is immediately substituted out. Well, that was a planned substitution for the Skyhawks before the corner kick. Maybe good for them that they didn't end up making the substitution, because Hjalmarsson stayed on the field and he gets the goal. The rookie with his second of the season, second of his collegiate career, trying to answer immediately there with Jackson Hanley, but Martin cut that one out. So it is 1-1 as Fort Lewis has done what they were unable to do against SFU, and that's level the score. We still have a little under 20 minutes to play for someone to find a winner. Marita not happy with the ref not calling a foul there. Duenas shoved by Jarrett, and that is called a foul. And a yellow card is shown to Jack Jarrett. So Jean-Baptiste has the ball, waiting for the ref to allow him to get back under play. He's just jotting down in his notebook another yellow card. There's been a few of them in this match so far. Jean-Baptiste gets his back underway. Now Feeney lays it out wide. That is over on the right, Jeremiah Davis, who's come in for Hjalmarsson. Now Feeney has a chance to cross it into the box. Easy handle there for Campagnolo. And will count himself a little bit unlucky to have his shutout broken in the way that it was. Not much that he can do when Hjalmarsson ghosted wide open to the back post to tap it in. Thomas. Now, I believe that's Marc-Paul Reynaud who is checked back in for the Yellowjackets, trying to spray it out wide to Hanley, unable to find him. Play in close quarters there by Quinn Basenko. Some nifty feet. No foul called. Kemmer coming the other way. He's got Kirkham all over him. Stiff arms him. Keeps going, but Kirkham, who's had a Marvelous game as the left fullback gets fouled. Jean-Baptiste quickly gets us back underway. Legendre, Davis calling for it, unable to get it to him, and it's played all the way back to Feeney. Pressured by Reynaud. Now Schuft clears it downfield. No one there for the Skyhawks. Kemmer trying to flick it to Morita. Doesn't quite come off, but they do keep the ball. Again, collision. And a foul is called on Fort Lewis. The man who committed it is also down on the ground. Continuing the physical play that we had near the end of the first half. It was Feeney who was called for the foul. And Reynaud is still down on the far side. Looks like we're almost ready to get back underway. Although it initially looked like the referee called the foul on Feeney, it looks like he might have actually called it on Reynaud, who is already on a yellow card.
There we go. Okay, I fixed it.
What time was it?
It was 16:25.
So it will be Fort Lewis ball once we get back underway. 16:17 on the clock. Now, a few minutes ago, I had been ready to say that it had been a much less stop-start affair than the first half, but even without me vocalizing it, it must have been a bit of a jinx. A yellow card has been shown. In fact, a red card has been shown to the head coach of the Yellowjackets, Aaron Champenoy. I'm not sure what he said to the head official, but must have been quite a lot to warrant a second yellow card. So he's got to walk all the way around the track now. Played forward off the free kick. Legendre is unable to catch that one. So after that stoppage, we are back underway. Now Jeremiah Davis trying to break through, unable to do so. Jacob Larson clears it downfield towards Lehman, but Gonzalez heads it back to his goalkeeper.
Keep scoring the game. I will go look at it.
Turnover, Basenko. Now to Davis. Fort Lewis trying to put the pressure on. Morita unable to control that ball for the Yellowjackets, but they do get it back anyway through Jarrett. Now Larson, pressured by Kemmer, gets it back from his goalkeeper. Duenas going long. Feeney making the run all the way from right back. Cleared out of play. Will be a throw-in for the Skyhawks. Bosenko. Feeney. Back to Bosenko. Feeney. Bosenko once again trying to find Lehman. Headed away by Gonzalez. And now it's the Skyhawks really twisting the screws a little on the Yellowjackets, who have not had as much going forward in this second half. Hanley played down the sideline there by Jarrett, but he's unable to find Kemmer. Kirkham clears it to Legendre, touches it to Bosenko. Feeney again making the run down the right, crosses it into the middle, cleared by Thomas, sets up for Jean-Baptiste. Unable to catch it as sweetly as he would have liked. And now Ty Volland is checking in once again up front for the Yellowjackets. Kemmer returns to the bench, and Volland is back in for this final 13 minutes of play. Punch forward by Gonzalez to Volland, immediately getting involved. Renault trying to flick it over the top to himself. Much too much power on that one. You can see Morita pushing very far forward for the Yellowjackets as well, as they try and search for a winner. Neither of these teams have had a tie yet so far this season. Duenas tackled by Hanley and clear downfield, but Kirkham is there. Shuffed, plays it towards Lehman. It's up in the air. Lehman heads it down. Duenas catches it. Hits the side netting. Great strike there by Thomas Duenas. And in fact, the referee rules that it went off of a Yellowjackets defender and out for a corner. The Skyhawks again looking dangerous. Ruled that it went off of Gonzalez and out of play. Looks like they won't go for the short corner this time. It's knocked into the middle. Larson trying to get there. He can't get on the end of it. Bodies hit the floor, and a foul is called on Hanley. He can't believe the referee's decision, as he also went crashing to the deck. Jean-Baptiste will take the free kick. He was a little frustrated that he couldn't play it short and quick. Does play it short to Duenas. Clips it into the middle, and an offside flag is raised against Jacob Larson, who has been the main target for the Skyhawks on set pieces. Does not have a goal yet this season. Now the Yellowjackets look to push forward. About 10 minutes to play. Duenas.
So why did he call offsides? It's when the other team is further down on the defense.
Controlled back to Lucas Martin. Now Shuffed has space to push forward. Trying to play it all the way over the top to Lehman. Cut out by Jarrett. Hanley surveys. Kirkham nudges him off the ball and wins the throw. Kirkham pressured by Hanley. But Fort Lewis plays it out of potential danger. Basenko has time to turn. Gets it to Davis. Trying to feed it through to Jean-Baptiste, and a bit of a misplay there, and it's out for Montana State. Another substitution made for the Yellowjackets as they try to push for a winner. Camden Beck is back out on the field, replacing Hanley. And Hjalmarsson is also now back in for the Skyhawks. The scorer of their lone goal replaces Davis.
Substitution made by Fort Lewis College in minute number 81 in the game number 9, Antoine Hjalmarsson. And on the game number 15.
Basenko clears it down the field. Legendre can't head it down to Hjalmarsson.
Number 19, Camden Beck. Out number 15, Jackson Hanley.
Reynaud heads it into touch. Clear downfield. Volin trying to run onto it. Larson heads it to Jean-Baptiste. Some deft control by the midfielder. Now cleared downfield. Duenes nearly gets on it, and it's whacked all the way to the other goal by Kolja Thomas. Legendre pressured up by Gonzalez. All the way at the midfield line, the striker and center back battle. Almost man marking him there. Schuft has plenty of time. Doesn't pick the right pass. Headed down, though, and Duenes knocks it out wide to Lehman. Lehman up against Jarrett for what feels like the umpteenth time here in this second half. Lehman trying to go through the legs, but Jarrett got him on that occasion. And then Lehman commits the foul that will be a yellow card as he pushed him down into the turf. Not too much time left to play. Will we see a late winner? Or will these two teams head back across the border with a point apiece? As the sun is setting here at Terry Fox Field in Burnaby, BC. The two teams who the Yellowjackets and the Skyhawks played on Thursday will do battle later tonight. The SFU Red Leafs and the University at Colorado Mesa. That game will be broadcast on the same YouTube channel. Now there are these two teams thinking about that game. It's now a free kick, and it will be Camden Beck standing over it for the Yellowjackets. They have really not tested Lucas Martin much here in this second half, but have a free kick from a good position here, trying to hit one of their target men in the middle. Beck over the top. It's cleared. Jean-Baptiste tries to head it away, but Beck is there. Some nifty footwork, gets through a couple of defenders. Camden Beck trying to go all the way on his own. It pops three. And it's blocked. Some last-ditch defending by the Skyhawks. I believe that's Kolja Thomas, the center back, holding his head in his hands. The ball somehow popped right to him after a great run by Beck, and he was unable to direct it on goal. Corner kick now. Into the box, easy grab for Martin. Thought about throwing it early, instead slows it down a little. Jean-Baptiste has his pocket picked. Callum Bryan. Reynaud outside of the boot, cross towards Volland. He controls. Now Morita gets free, shoots, saved by Martin, and out for a corner. Ryoshiro Morita has been quiet for much of this night offensively. Wriggled free there and had a pop from the top of the area. Now corner for the Yellowjackets. Less than 5 minutes to play. Lowe doesn't clear the first man as Jean-Baptiste heads it away. Had a chance to try and spring a counter, but he missed the pass. Now Beck cuts inside. Bryan tried to feed it back to Beck. It was cut out. The ball is bouncing around the Skyhawks area, but the Yellowjackets unable to muster a clear chance. And Fort Lewis wins the throw. Will they now be able to create a goal-scoring threat? Hjalmarsson up in the air. Taken away, but I believe a handball is called. Fort Lewis again trying to take the free kick quickly, but the referee not letting them. Bryan not happy with the call, making that known to the official. So now Schuft and Larson will head forward. Looks like it'll be Feeney trying to loft a ball over the top. He is quite a ways away from the penalty box. But nearly everyone forward for the Skyhawks. Feeney hits it low, right at Reynaud. Volland trying to spring a counter. Tries to get it to Reynaud. Feeney is there to cut it out. Important defensive work right there. Lehman calling for it on the far side. Can he get on the end of it? He can. Up against Jarrett. Now Bosenko. Inside. Good attempted turn there, but it's cleared. And now a potential 4-on-4 break the other way. Beck trying to find someone to give it to. Volland all the way on the outside now. Beck with the left foot deflected. That is a corner off the head, I believe, of Kirkham. Now 2 minutes to play. Beck will take the corner. Yellowjackets slowing it down a little bit. Beck hits it in again, right at Jean-Baptiste at the near post. Unable to get enough loft on it. Morita gets it to Beck, one-on-one with Kirkham. Gets by him. He shoots right at Martin. Bit of a selfish decision there by Beck. Feeney back to Schuft. Now cycled around the back by Fort Lewis. Duenes. He hits it long, trying to find Hjalmarsson. He controls, gets it to Feeney, crossed into the box, goes all the way out the other side to Lehman. Trying to get around Jarrett, he's unable to, and Jarrett clears. Now Beck. Just a minute to play. Camden Beck, one-on-one against Bosenko. Nice feed. Reynaud streaking down the left wing. Instead, Bryan takes it himself. Rather, that's Morita who took it on. Volland not happy with that decision. And now Bryan is jogging over to take the corner. He'll have to make sure he gets it in time. 40 seconds on the clock. This is the last chance of the game. Beck gets around his defender. He shoots! Deflected over the goal. What a play. Reynaud now running over to take the corner. That was Caden Schuft with the block on Beck. Reynaud lofts it towards the back post, headed into the middle. Martin has it, and that should do it. What a frantic finish. But it ends honors even, 1-1 between Montana State Billings and Fort Lewis. Both of these teams will feel like they could have gotten more out of this one. But in the end, the only goals come from Ty Volland on the side of the Yellowjackets and then Anton Yalmerson, the two number 9s, finding the score sheet for their teams. And they will head back home with just one draw and a loss coming out of this 2-game trip up to Burnaby, British Columbia, Canada. Make sure to check out the second game of tonight's doubleheader, the SFU Red Leafs taking on Colorado Mesa in just a short while. But that's all for this game between Montana State and Fort Lewis. We hope to see you later tonight.